Turn up a little more information, thinking it might go to the White House. Joining me now, Republican Senator Johnny Isakson of Georgia. He's a member of the Senate Finance Committee. Sir, it's good to have you with me. I just want to start and show everybody this new poll that's out by CNN that shows, after the really terrible, horrible week of the president, 53% of Americans say they still approve of the job that he is doing, and that's up 2 points from the last poll that was taken back in April. So granted, that same poll found that these issues, we've got the IRS, Benghazi, the AP story, are important to Americans. But if this drags on, do you think Republicans are in danger of overplaying their hand?
Not on the IRS scandal. I think the IRS scandal is real. Douglas Shulman was a Bush appointee at the beginning. Stephen Miller, an Obama appointee. The Attorney General Russell George, or the Inspector General, has had a scathing report on the targeting of American citizens by the IRS. Mr. Pfeiffer yesterday on all the Sunday shows abhorred the abuse of the IRS and said he wants to get to the bottom of it. I think you have a bipartisan focus on seeing that the IRS is reined in, finding out who knew, when they knew, and how high it went. That's what's important about this investigation.
Sir, I know you told a crowd at the state GOP convention in Georgia on Friday that the IRS must be brought to its knees. Your committee is going to question the acting IRS Commissioner, Stephen Miller, tomorrow. How far are you willing to go? And are you more concerned with trying to get Lois Lerner, who was in charge of the director of the tax-exempt status, trying to get Lois Lerner in front of you to ask her questions over what her section of the IRS was doing?
I think Ms. Lerner and Ms. Ingram are going to have to come before the committee. Tomorrow we'll have Mr. Shulman, we'll have Mr. George, we'll have Mr. Miller. I think all the people who knew or should have known need to come before the committee, tell us what they did know, try and lead us on the path that gets us to the original authorization for the violation of the civil rights, or the privacy, if you will, of these taxpayers in America.
Sir, Democratic Senator Kay Hagan of North Carolina was on Morning Joe today and said there are still bigger issues to contend with in Washington, D.C. I want to play it for everybody. Take a listen.
One of the things I'm really focused on is jobs and the economy. In North Carolina, we hover around a 9% unemployment rate. Some of my counties are 17%. We've got to come together, Democrats and Republicans, help make take action, work together, negotiate, take difficult votes, but get it done.
Sir, so there is a report out today that a House immigration deal has been reached. Do you know anything about that? And do you expect the Senate immigration bill to potentially come out of committee this week?
It's supposed to come out at the end of this week, or at the very latest the beginning of the first week of June when we come back. There have been 8 days of amendments already and 8 days of debate. I expect it to be on the floor around the middle of June in the United States Senate.
Will you vote for it?
When I see all the bill and I see all the amendments and we go through the debate, I'll make up my mind when I know the totality of the program.
What's the biggest problem? What's the biggest sticking point to you, though, from what you know of what the Gang of Eight has already done?
They've done a great job on border security, but we've got to make sure the American people appreciate the security that's put in the bill, so they know we're not doing a Ronald Reagan all over again, where we grant somebody the ability to stay in America and then 8 million more or 10 million more come because 3 million were let in. We've got to be sure our border is secure and as bulletproof as it can possibly be, so the way to come to America is the right way and the legal way.
Sir, I want to talk to you about gun violence in the country and gun reform and the appetite for that on the Hill. Democrats are proposing a bill to introduce guns with personalization technology, guns that can only be used by their owners. Are Republicans working on any common sense legislation that might meet on par with what the Democrats could agree to?
I am not, but I can only answer for myself. You might talk to Pat Toomey, you might talk to Joe Manchin, but quite frankly, since we had the debate of 3 or 4 weeks ago, there has been very little discussion in the Senate in our caucus, and I'm not sure, but I doubt the Democratic caucus as well.
Senator Johnny Isakson, sir, as always, thanks for your time today. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you, Thomas.
A New York